Hey guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Today we're going to talk about makeup essentials for that 40-year-old woman and up. People like myself with mature skin that just need everyday makeup, but they just don't know where to get started. Check it out. All right guys, let's get started. So makeup. It can be intimidating to a lot of women, and maybe a lot of women have not worn makeup a lot in their past, but they're kind of just going through this phase in their life where they're like, I want to just get a little bit more glamorous, but I just don't know where to start. What are my basic makeup? Some women don't even wear makeup at all, so they don't even know where to get started. So if you're advanced, this may just be a little boring to you, but check out my other videos because you'll like those. But for this video, I really wanted to specifically stick to those women that always come up to me and say, I want to get glamorous, but I'm too old to do it. And I'm like, you're not too old. I'm going to be 41 next month. So I don't feel like you're too old to wear makeup. It's just certain makeup may not be as friendly to mature skin. So that's something you have to kind of consider. So it's very specific to your skin type. I have like normal to dry skin, probably a little bit more on the drier side than the oily side. So I try to stick to products that have like a velvety finish, but not a luminous. I don't want to look too shiny either. I kind of like more that matte looking face, but then I don't want it to be too matte because then it's going to accentuate some of the fine lines that I'm starting to see. Since I'm going to be 41 next month, I am starting to see a little bit more than I did even last year. So you know what? That's okay. I've accepted it. I'm getting older. I may have to eventually crack and get some Botox and some fillers. Who knows? I haven't done anything. I haven't done anything to my face. So I have really just kind of stuck to a very, very basic skincare routine. So you just have to find what works best for your skin type. Everyone is different, but there are certain makeup products that you do want to stay away from if you do have more mature skin. So if you really like the glitters, you're just going to have to be a little more careful with them because they can really accentuate wrinkles and fine lines in your eyelid space area. If you want to get into highlighters, you just have to make sure that you don't have a lot of texture on your skin and you find a highlighter that works for texturized skin. And if you like more matte products, you have to be extremely careful if you have a lot of fine lines and wrinkles because matte products will really accentuate. That's why they stay away from powders for foundations because powders are really going to accentuate your fine lines and your wrinkles. So stick to more like luminous velvety type finish foundations. I think that is the best product for women like myself, 40 and up. Stick to liquid foundations, BB creams, liquid foundations. There's just a ton on the market right now. So just go find what works best for you. I'm going to give you some suggestions of what I like that works best for my skin type, but everybody's different. So just kind of take that with a grain of salt. I'm not going to spend too much time on skincare. I just did a skincare video. Please check that. I'll link it below. You can also click that link above, but it's a very simple routine for me. I just can't use a lot of products because I have very, very, very sensitive skin. I have been blessed. My mom has amazing skin. She looks so young for her age. She's almost 70. You can check out our videos. I'll link that below too. I mean, her skin is impeccable. So I feel like I'm doing pretty good for 41, and I'm gotta attribute that to my mom's genetics because she has amazing skin. I did not take after her skin completely. I unfortunately started breaking out after 35 with like hormonal breakouts and with just different birth controls and stuff like that that have affected my skin. So I have to stay away from a lot of ingredients and products, and there's not a lot of liquid foundations on the market that I can actually use. Let's just start off with my moisturizers and my primers. I like the Clinique Moisture Surge. I cannot tell you enough how much I love this product. So primers are very, very key, especially to mature skin, because it's like painting a house. You're gonna put a primer down before you start painting the color that you want. It's the same concept with your face. Before you put your foundation on, you wanna make sure you're highly moisturized and you have a good coat of primer on before you go in so that you can kind of build those areas in between your foundation and your skin. So if you have very wrinkly skin, you really want, I mean, there's no foundation on the market that's going to take that away, but you want to try to build barriers before you get to that foundation. So the two primers I really enjoy are by Too Faced Cosmetics and Hourglass Cosmetics. The Hangover RX is infused with coconut water, and I really, really like that. It's really hydrating to the skin, and it just kind of creates a beautiful canvas without having like the silicone and all the other stuff that I'm allergic to. Now, if you're not allergic to silicone, there are some really good primers that will create that really good barrier between your skin and the foundation. Now, Benefit POREfessional, I know POREfessional, it's kind of a tongue twister, is a really good silicone-based, it has like it just blurs. It just makes your makeup glide on so smooth. Unfortunately, I'm allergic to it, so I can't use it. I wish I could. I used it a few times and I was like, oh, this is so good, but I can't use it. But if you're not allergic to silicone, you don't have sensitive skin, go for this one. It's a really good primer. Smashbox, another great company that has amazing primers. Now, I don't have any of those because I can't use them, but they have beautiful primers, and so does Becca Cosmetics. So those are some companies that I know for sure you will not go wrong. Now, I think this Hourglass does have a little bit of silicone in it, but it doesn't for some reason affect my skin that much. It is a mineral primer. This is called Mineral Veil. This is another one that is just absolutely amazing, and I love it. It is on the pricier side, but it is a very, very, very good primer. It doesn't matter what foundation you use, if you are not laying down and you're not taking care of your skin before you even put your makeup on, it's really not going to do that much justice, the foundation. So just really keep that in mind. When it comes to foundations, stick to liquid products. So if you do have more mature texturized skin, you definitely want to stay away from those mattifying foundations. So good foundations that I like that give you very good coverage, but give you that fresh, youthful look are Born This Way Too Faced. You guys know, if you watch my channel, I absolutely love this foundation, and Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. These two are beautiful. They are my #1 recommendations, especially for mature skin. Catrice is another great brand that you can find at Ulta, and it's their HD Liquid Coverage 24-hour foundation. Now, this one I kind of tend to break out a little bit with, but it looks beautiful on my mom, and she almost looked like she didn't have anything on, which is her skin anyway. She's just very lucky, but it did cover up some of those spots that she wanted to cover up, and it gave a very beautiful finish. So this is a beautiful, beautiful foundation if you are not very sensitive to most products. It's very liquidy. Let me see, and it has like one of those like a squeezy, so it's very liquidy like that. So you can tell it's very lightweight, which is good. But it's a beautiful color. I think this one is 40, warm beige. I want to say it's no more than $15. I'll link everything below, but that's another good foundation for more mature skin. Now, when it comes to concealers, you definitely need to conceal. That is a must, because as we get older, we have darker circles, we have more bags, we have fine lines to cover up. So you just want to be careful on your selection with concealers. Now, I love Shape Tape. I don't have very dry eyes underneath, but I know even my best friend, I got her into Tarte Shape Tape, and she even said it dried out her eyes a lot, her under eye area, so she stopped using it. Another great option is the Born This Way Supercoverage Multi-Purpose Concealer. I did a video, you can check out that video on this specific concealer, but I personally love Tarte Shape Tape. I just feel like there's nothing that this guy can't do. I mean, this girl, guy, girl, whoever, she can do amazing things. I just love Tarte Shape Tape. I'm just a Tarte Shape Tape kind of girl. But I do understand it can be kind of drying. So what I like to do is, my favorite combination, like what I do every single day, is the Maybelline Age Rewind. And if you only want to buy one concealer, honestly, this can pretty much do what Tarte Shape Tape does as far as full coverage, but it's very friendly to mature eyes. So you definitely want to stick to that if you are 40 and up, especially if you're maybe even around 50, 60 up. I would definitely kind of go more with the Maybelline Age Rewind, and it has beneficial extracts in there to help with your under eye area. So you're kind of getting like a treatment and a concealer in one. So that's pretty good. So stick to Maybelline Age Rewind if you're probably around 60 and up. I probably wouldn't use Tarte Shape Tape. But if you're around 40 to 50 range, I still think that's really good. I also think the Born This Way is good for any age. It's a very good coverage, maybe not as good as the Tarte Shape Tape, but it also has that coconut water and it has other stuff that's going to help treat your under eye area. So those are my favorite concealers. There really isn't another concealer on the market that I would recommend. Those three probably are the only three I would recommend. Now, before you put on your concealer, I forgot to mention this, Dr. Brandt has this needles no more baggage. So if you suffer from baggage, this is a really good product to use after you've used your eye cream. So definitely use your eye cream first. Now, 2 eye creams that I really like, and I forgot to mention those too, are the Clinique Moisture Surge Eye Cream. That whole line I love. And then the Giorgio Armani eye cream is really good, and it doesn't affect my skin, and I'm very, very sensitive. Now, this Dr. Brandt, so I would do the moisturizer first, and then you would, well, so it has like a peachy tone to it. So you have to remember, peach is going to cancel out dark areas. So it's a very nice moisturizing, but it's going to cancel out some of that darkness before you go in with the concealer. So something that you want to think about when you are using concealers is you definitely want to lay down a base before you do that. It's like laying down a primer before you use foundations. So if you have a problem with under eye baggage area or dark circles, I would definitely go in with this Dr. Brandt Needles No More first before you put on your concealer. Now, if you really like Tarte Shape Tape, I mean, you just really like the coverage of it, but you just kind of suffer from that dry under eye area, then what you could do is take a little bit of the shape tape, Tarte Shape Tape, okay? You would just take a, like, okay, I'm not gonna waste it. So use a little bit of that, and then you could take a little bit of your eye cream, like your Giorgio. I would do like the Giorgio Armani is a little bit thicker, so I would do the Clinique with mixed in with it, and then just kind of create almost like a BB cream moisturizing concealer. So it kind of breaks up that consistency and adds a little bit more moisture to it. So that's just another option. Or you can also take some hyaluronic acid and mix it in with the Tarte Shape Tape on your hand and then go in with your beauty blender. Or actually, I like to tap it in first and then go in with your beauty blender and use that. So another option, if you really like that Tarte Shape Tape, which I love it so much, I can't stop using it, then I would go that route. But if you want to avoid all that, just use the Multi-Coverage Born This Way Too Faced Concealer. That is a great option for mature skin. And highly recommend, especially for the price point, this Maybelline Age Rewind for $10. You can't go wrong. I like the Neutralizer. That's my favorite color in this. I also like the, I want to say it's light medium sand or something like that. So there's another one. There's a ton of different colors, and just remember, you can always take it back. So for Target, Walgreens, Ulta, you can always take it back. So if it doesn't match you, because a lot of times you can't, you unfortunately can't swatch these in store, but you can definitely take it back. So go with a color you think might work. Always go on Google and just look up like Maybelline Age Rewind swatches. There's somebody out there that's swatching all the different colors, because especially YouTubers, I unfortunately don't get any PR packages yet, but some of them do, and they get all these different colors so they can swatch them and they take a picture, and it's usually on Google. So just search that before you go to the store and then try to find the one that's closest to you. And if it doesn't work, you can always return it in exchange and try it again. So just keep that in mind, but definitely find the color that works almost closest to your skin or a little bit lighter. So I always like to go a little bit lighter. So the lighter you go, the brighter it's going to be. You don't want to go too light because you don't want it to be like stark white underneath your eye and above your bronzer. So don't go too light, but I always like to go about 2 shades lighter than my normal skin tone color. So if you have similar coloring to me, I like the light medium sand in the Tarte Shape Tape, and then I like light beige in the Multi-Coverage Super Coverage Concealer and Neutralizer in the Maybelline Age Rewind. So those are my 3 favorite colors, and I'll put all that below, and then you can, if you're close to me, you can kind of try out those colors. If not, you can try a different color. So don't forget, Google swatches. Pretty much for any product, you're going to find swatches on Google Images. So always check that out. Now, as far as setting your concealer and your foundation, because that is extremely important when it comes to mature skin, is or anybody's skin type, but definitely for more mature skin, you don't want that foundation to start setting into the fine lines. So as soon as you do your foundation, as soon as you put your concealer on, set right away. Before you do anything else, set it, and don't move your face around too much. So if you start smiling, laughing, talking, you're gonna start seeing it fall into the cracks. So you kind of just wanna keep that Botox-like look until you set your foundation and your concealer, just to really make sure that nothing's set in. And what I like to do is take my wet beauty sponge and really just go over everything, dampen it, spray it a little, use your Fix Plus Max spray or whatever spray you use, and dampen it a little and just make sure everything is nice and smooth and hasn't set in before you go and use the powders. Because once you use the powder, you can't go back. So that is an important rule of thumb. So definitely you're gonna need a setting powder. So you're definitely gonna need a moisturizer, a primer, a foundation, a concealer, and then a setting powder. That is your basic makeup essentials for before you even do anything else. You definitely need those products. Now, as far as setting powders go, there are so many on the market. My absolute favorite, especially for mature skin, is going to be the CoverFX Perfect Setting Powder. I also like the Hourglass one as well. I don't have that one right now, but that one is another good one. You don't want to stick to too many of the mattifying ones. So I love Laura Mercier for my skin. It does work out because, again, I'm normal to dry, but I'm not that dry. So it does work out for me. But if I am on the more dry side, I have been just normally leaning towards the CoverFX. So I just find it to just be a very finely milled, beautiful airbrush, great setting, great coverage type powder. And it has a teeny bit of color, but not a lot. It's more on the translucent side. Now, as far as setting under your eyes, you want to really brighten that area. So especially if you do suffer from darker under eyes, what I like is this Shade and Light. You can buy this individually. You don't have to buy this whole contour kit. But online, I want to say it's called Lyric is that color. That middle yellow color is a perfect brightening color. So you can buy that separately and put it like in a Z palette, or the Z palettes are like the little magnetic palettes, because a lot of companies come out with individual products now. So you don't have to buy, I mean, this whole thing is like $49, but I think individually they're only like $16 each little pan. So you can go on the Kat Von D website, or you can go on to your Sephora website. And I don't think in store they even sell them individually. If I might be wrong, but I want to say it says online only if you buy them individually. They do you can buy the entire contour kit in your Sephora. Another trick to Sephora is if you don't want to pay the shipping and handling, I pay the $15 a year where I get 2-day shipping the entire year. But if you don't want to do that, you don't buy a lot of makeup online, you can always go to Sephora. If they don't have it in store, they will do like a store-to-door, and Ulta does the same thing for free shipping. So never order it, because I think always the minimum is like around $40 or something like that. So if you don't want to pay the shipping, just go in store and they'll order it for you and send it to your house, free shipping. So that's a little trick with Sephora and Ulta, just to really keep that in mind, because a lot of times they have online only stuff and you're like, really? Now I have to pay the shipping? Well, you don't have to do that. Okay, so now that I went off on a tangent, my other absolute recommendation, if you just can't, like, say you just don't want to buy the CoverFX, say you don't want to buy 2 of these. I honestly, truly believe in this product. This is the Charlotte Tilbury. I talk about it in pretty much all my videos. The Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish number 2. There's, I think, 3 shades. I'm number 2, but this stuff is amazing. This just pretty much makes everything look flawless, and it sets it beautifully. So if you really don't want to invest in 2 different setting powders, I use this to bake and I use this as like an all over. Sometimes I do take like a pad, like the Laura Mercier, like a velour puff type thing, and I do kind of work that product in, and then I go over it with this. But if you don't want to go through all that, you don't have to. Just use this. This Charlotte Tilbury, I think it's like around $45. It's worth it. It will last you like 3 or 4 months, especially if you don't use a lot of it. But this is so worth it. This is a must-have for all skin types, for all ages. This is a must-have. I cannot live without this product. And the good part is it does have a little bit of color, so it's gonna even cover up even more. So it's so finely milled. It's so soft. I mean, I cannot rave about this product enough. It is the best makeup product. This is like my have to have. I have to have this. I know, that was really dramatic. So as far as setting powders, that's the route I would go. I don't want to go too much into too many setting powders because I just feel like there's so many on the market that you just can get overwhelmed. Now, is there cheaper options to like this Cover FX where you can spend the $45 on the Charlotte Tilbury and go maybe a little bit cheaper on the Cover FX? Yes, there is. And that would be Coty Airspun is a great one. It does have a perfume fragrance to this. So yeah, it's very strong for me. So I haven't really been using it that much, but it is a really good setting powder that will work pretty much similar to the Cover FX. RCMA is another great, affordable, I don't know where you get this. This is a no color powder. It's the original no color powder, aka a translucent powder. Beautylish is a great place to shop online for products like RCMA, but I think you can find it other places like Amazon and stuff like that. But I'll link everything below. But this is another one that's going to be way more affordable than the Cover FX. So I think Cover FX is around $35. Laura Mercier is around $38. Coty Airspun's like, I don't know, $10, $15, no more than $15. So it's very inexpensive. I think the RCMA, and that was used a lot for like performance makeup or like studio makeup. So RCMA has been around a long time and they have beautiful pigmented products. It's been a tried and true product for many years, RCMA, and it's very affordable as well. So that's another good like baking type powder. Check out my contour video. You can learn how to bake and contour and do all that stuff if that's what you're into. But most women that are above 50 range are not going to go into all of that. They just want the basic makeup essentials. So that's kind of what I want to focus on today. Now, as far as bronzers and blushes go, that's going to be very specific to the individual. Some women just don't want to deal with all of that. I know my mom's like, just give me blush. I don't need the bronzer. So I'm just going to give you a couple options if you want to do the bronzer and the blush. I like them both personally. The bronzer for me just kind of contours in an easy sense where you can just kind of shade the area that you really just want to just kind of take in a little and then highlight the areas where you want to just really stand out, like your cheekbones. So like your underneath your cheekbones is where you would shade and kind of slim out your face a little, and some women like to do that. A great option for that is the Hoola Bronzer. I feel like it's a very universal bronzer. You can contour with it, you can bronze with it. If that's the only bronzer you want or contour you want, it's all in one with the Hoola Bronzer. So you can do the Hoola Bronzer Light or the Hoola Bronzer Regular. This is the regular one. And it's kind of like an orangey, but has a little bit of like cool tones in it. So you want to stay away from the really orangey bronzers if you're going to like contour your nose. It doesn't look good. So you just want to make sure to be aware of that, which the Hoola Bronzer, I use this, I talk about again in every video. I use it for I can use it for like my bronzer. Say I don't want to wear a blush. I just will make it a little bit heavier as far as like a little bit more rosy on my cheek, on my apples of my cheek area. And I can also use it for eyeshadow. I love this for eyeshadow. It is a beautiful eyeshadow. So it's kind of like one of those multi-purpose. If you only wanted one thing in your bag and you don't want blush or you don't want to carry a ton of eyeshadows, this Hoola Bronzer is everything. It is so good. So that is another makeup essential for women of mature skin. I think it will do really well. Benefit is really good for that. Now, as far as blush goes, if you do want to use a blush, I just really like MAC. I just find that it lasts a long time because you don't have to use a lot of it and you can just use it just a little bit. Peaches is a really good color for pretty much anyone. I just feel like anyone can use this color. It is that if you're traveling and you just don't want to bring a ton of blushes, this is going to go with everything. Peaches is a beautiful color. It is so pretty. It's like a peachy coral-like color. It's so pretty. It's one of my favorite blushes to use. Now, another good one is the Nars Orgasm. Yeah, I know. Great name, right? So this is another beautiful, beautiful, beautiful blush. The only problem I have with the Orgasm, I mean, let's be honest, but is that it has a little bit of like glitter to it, or I guess sparkle to it, and a sheen to it. And it's just when I do blushes, I don't really like that. I like more the matte blushes. And then if I want that little bit of sheen, I like to go in with a topper, but not necessarily a blush with a glitter type product in it. Okay, now let's get into eyebrows, because eyebrows can be tricky when you really just, there's not a lot of people that like to do eyebrows. They just are not into it. The Benefit Give Me Brow and the Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Brow are going to be your best friends when it comes to eyebrow products, because if you don't want to pencil in or really just kind of like create a fuller brow, that's all you need. All you need are these two, one of these two. It doesn't matter which one. They're pretty much the same concept. This is a little bit smaller, this spoolie, but it's kind of do that same thing as this Benefit one. So this one's kind of short, but it's a little bit stubbier. So it's going to do exactly the same thing. So it's just preference at that point. I think the Legendary Brow might be, the Charlotte Tilbury might be a teeny bit more, but I mean, it's pretty much going to do the same thing. This is Linda and this is number 1. It's because I'm blonde, so it's a little bit lighter. I want to say this goes up to 5, the Benefit. So you'll just choose the color you need. Go to the Benefit Brow Bar in Ulta and they'll help you out. They'll guide you to the right tools that you need for the right look that you want. So I'm a huge fan of Benefit and Anastasia are my 2 favorite brow products. And I like the Legendary Brows by Charlotte Tilbury, but I don't like her other brow products. So this would be the only thing from Charlotte Tilbury. But as far as Benefit and Anastasia, you can't go wrong. So if you like more the powdered, you just want to fill in, I really like the Anastasia the best. I feel like they just give that perfect powder look, and you get the lighter side on one side, so like the front of your brow, and then the darker side on the darker. But if you don't want to get into that, again, you don't have to buy all those products. You can just do like a Benefit Give Me Brow, easy, like a mascara wand, and just kind of comb out. Another trick you can do is like take some of that Legendary Brow, let's just say that, and take like your like a Benefit brow brush and just take some of that and just kind of like fill in the gaps there. So that's another thing you can do, and then use the clean spoolie to make it look natural. So another option, but if you are not into doing all that, it's too much work, then don't do it. It's not that big of a deal. So it's your preference, but you definitely want to like some type of brow product, whether you're kind of using like the mascara one, the filler type products, or an eyebrow pencil, or a eyebrow powder. You definitely want to do something to your eyebrows to kind of just, whether they're kind of gray or sparse, it's just going to give you a better overall look to do that. So a lot of people don't want to take the time to do it, but just it could be very easy just taking this Benefit Gimme Brow and filling it in. It's not that difficult. So you just, if you're going to do some type of glamour or makeup, you want to just make sure that you get those simple basic steps in there. Now, Benefit and Anastasia both have really good brow pencils. I would stick to the thinner brow pencils, like the Precisely My Brow by Benefit or the Anastasia Brow Wiz. I think these two are really good. I think the thicker ones can be a little tricky if you're not really that good with brows. So the thinner microblading type pencils are going to be a lot easier to work with and just kind of fill in. So just my food for thought, but everyone's different. Maybe the thicker brow pencil works better for you. I don't know. But just to me, that would seem a lot simpler to do it that way. Now, as far as eyelashes go, I'm a girl that likes to wear false lashes. My mom, she likes lash extensions. I mean, there's a different person for everyone is different. So it just depends. But as far as like doing your eyelashes, if you just don't do anything and you wear eyebrows and you wear foundation and blush, it's going to look a little blah. So you definitely want to put some type of mascara on. And if you're not going to wear false lashes, definitely curl your lashes first. So any eyelash curler is going to work. I like all the ones at Sephora. Shu Uemura they're the goddess of eyelash curlers. So just find an eyelash curler that works for you. And then as far as mascaras go, there are so many mascaras to choose from, but honestly, I stick to drugstore mascaras. I just find that you have to throw out your mascara after 3 months because bacteria collects in there, and whether it's dried out or not, get rid of it after 3 months. Do not reuse it. Another thing is, do not do this. This is a no-no. Do not pump. You're allowing air to get into that mascara and more bacteria to form. So do not do that. So for me and my budget, I just feel like there are so many drugstore mascaras that are so good that why am I going to spend like $30 on a mascara that I'm going to get rid of in 3 months? So I stick to L'Oreal Voluminous. I just find this one and the Lash Discovery, which I'm out of right now, is like Better Than Sex, Too Faced, but you're paying half the price. So that's another good one. And then I am such a fan of this Maybelline Lash Discovery. I have been using these two mascaras for years. Now, this one I like for that voluminous look. This one I like for definition. It is such a great skinny spoolie that is just amazing. So those are the two mascaras I stick to. Those are your basic makeup essentials. Anything beyond this point is just optional because that's all you need. That's all you need as far as makeup products. Now, if you want lip gloss, stick to lip glosses like MAC has good lip glosses, Chanel has beautiful lip glosses, Marc Jacobs has the best lip glosses. His lip glosses are, I don't know what he infuses them with, but they just don't dry out your lips. They're not sticky, they're shiny, they're beautiful, and you really want to be careful when you have more mature skin and lips because anything can make it look crusty, and our lips are just not as youthful as a 20-year-old. So stick to products like Urban Decay has really good lipsticks that kind of give that matte. I have it on today, and I have gloss over it, but give you that matte look without over drying. Now, if I were you, I would stay away from matte liquid lips because mature skin and mature lips are just not going to do as well with matte liquid lips. They are amazing. They're great because they don't bleed. They just stay on. You can drink water. I mean, you can, pretty much drink everything, kiss anyone, and it won't go anywhere. So that's the great part about matte liquid lips. The problem is it looks dry and crusty after a while if you don't have youthful, beautiful lips. Now, if you're 40, 50, 60 and you have beautiful, youthful lips, then kudos to you. And guess what? You can still use those products. But if you don't, stay away from those products. Now, if you really want that matte look, this is not going to be that super stay liquid matte lip, but I have been a true believer in this Revlon, I want to say they're called Color Burst Matte Balm Lipstick type pencil like things. These are amazing and they come in several different colors. They give you that mattifying, you don't need a lip pencil to go with it. I just feel like they are so good and it'll be really good for mature skin. I do use liquid lips, I do, and I am fortunate that my lips are not over drying and crusting all the time. Now, if I am going through those days and it is maybe like a colder months and just we all get dried chapped lips, then I'll stay away from those matte liquid lips. But there are some days that my lips are great and luscious and nice, and I'll use those liquid lips. And if I do, there are two brands that I really like. I like the Ulta brand and I like Dose of Color. So those are two matte liquid lips, that liquid lip products that I definitely would recommend for mature skin because I don't feel like they over dry. Anastasia has beautiful ones, but they are very drying and they dry down, and Tarte, they dry down so fast that is not going to work good if you have any kind of texture on your lips. So keep that in mind. But again, anything over that at this point is not an essential. So I just wanted to stick to the more essential type products. Now, if you do like that glamorous look, highlighters, very beautiful, I'm a highlight girl. You can check out my video. I love highlighters. But they can accentuate texturized skin. Extremely accentuate texturized skin. So keep that in mind. If you are going to use a highlighter, stick to Becca Cosmetics. Becca Cosmetics has beautiful highlighters. Now this is her Champagne Pop with Jaclyn Hill, and then she has a blush attached to this, like a dual type compact. This is a beautiful option if you want that highlighter and you want the blush too. You can just, and you're traveling, it's a perfect little compact. They come in individual highlighters. This is Moonstone. This is my absolute favorite, and I love Champagne Pop too. So those are two beautiful colors by Becca that you can use. But I think that's it, guys. I mean, that's pretty much all the makeup essentials you would need. Now, I didn't get into eyeshadow only because I just feel like that's not an essential. Your essentials are your foundation, your blushes, your bronzers, your eyebrow, your mascara, your lip product. But if you do want to go a little bit beyond that, eyeshadow palettes are really going to be key to you, because you want that palette that's more on the neutral side if you're not going to get into these extravagant looks. And I'm just going to assume if you're 50 and up, you're probably not going to get into purples and blues and all of that stuff. But who knows? I mean, probably at 50, I will still be rocking a blue eyeshadow look. I don't know. Maybe I won't. But some great palettes for people that are older and that want more of a natural look are the Naked palettes by Urban Decay. And I personally love the Naked 2. That's my favorite out of the Naked palettes. I just found that the color choices can just pretty much go for anyone. I think anyone could create a look out of this Naked 2 palette. So that is a beautiful eyeshadow palette, and I actually really enjoy the brushes that come with it. They have really good brushes. Anastasia also has a couple good ones that I like. I didn't like a lot of her other ones, but these two are my favorite. This is the Soft Glam. This one is going to create a little bit more drama. So if you like a little bit more, this is a great palette to go with. And then Modern Renaissance is my absolute favorite out of all the Anastasia palettes. And this one you can create, again, a very natural look, and you can also kind of create a little bit more drama to it. So as far as eyeshadows go, those would be my recommendations. That's not an essential, but if you want to go beyond the essentials, those are great eyeshadow palettes. If you guys want me to create a look with any of these products, please comment below. Give this video a huge thumbs up and just let me know. Let me know if this is what you want to see. But as far as makeup essentials for women with more mature skin, those are all my product recommendations I would give. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give this video a huge thumbs up, set your notification bell for future videos. Don't forget to check out my other ones, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.